So greed begins, I talked about beliefs. Greed begins with the simple belief that there are limited resources in this world, right? In a way, of course, there are limited resources in this world, but there really aren't. When treated respectfully and in a way that shares, there's unlimited resources. The earth is built to sustain us indefinitely, I think. When you enter kind of thinking that there's limited resources, you're going to have a sense of lack, and that's going to start leading to hoarding, right? That's part of greed. From there comes the fear of not being good enough with what you have, with who you are, and with what's available to you. And I would argue most greed comes from the sense of fear that I just don't have enough. Right? Epicurus, the great Greek philosopher, said that to the man, he said to the man for whom enough is not enough will never have enough. Right? So there's a sense it's never enough. I need more, I need more, I need more. I know people who make $40, $60, $80 million a year who complain they're not billionaires. They don't have quite enough. So I like to think about two families, and one that's making $50,000 a year, one that's making $100,000 a year, or $200,000 a year, let's say. The next year, they both make $100,000. The family with $50,000 is happy. They feel great. The one that made $200,000, they're making the same. They feel poor, although they're making the same amount of money. Right? Greed also builds a desire to only get. To only get leads to selfishness. I would argue ultimately to depression, because all this getting is never going to make you happy. You're going to keep chasing it, and the bar keeps moving, and it's like a carrot at the end of a donkey, and you keep chasing it, right? And it also sees wealth as an end in itself. Simply accumulation, more is good, right? Which is what Gordon Gekko talked about. Abundance, on the other hand, begins with the recognition of the diverseness and richness of creation. That there's an abundance in creation. And you just have to open your eyes to see that. I mean, it's everywhere. And that leads to a sense of gratitude that stems from love for what you've been given. And this, when you feel that sense of gratitude, you want to participate. You want to give that to other people. You want to share. You want other people to know this, like the child who felt good about his gifts. And finally, you see wealth as a tool. Because there's nothing wrong with wealth. A lot of people think that religion eschews wealth. That somehow you could be wealthy, you could be spiritual, but you can't be both. Well, you can't be both if you're greedy, but if you live in a sense of abundance, you can most certainly be both because you see wealth as a tool to help others and also to experience the goodness that life has to offer to you. So Wayne Dyer, if you follow him, said abundance is not something that we get, it's something we tune into, that already exists simply waiting for us to connect to it.